Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into one of the most pivotal moments in history, the assassination of Julius Caesar. It was a day that sent shockwaves through the ancient world, a day when the very foundations of Roman society trembled. Let's journey back to the days of the Roman Republic, a time of both great power and immense internal strife, and explore how the assassination of one man, Julius Caesar, changed the course of Rome forever. Before we can understand the momentous events of that fateful day, we must first understand the man at its heart, Gaius Julius Caesar. Born into a patrician family, Caesar was a man of ambition, intelligence, and unparalleled charisma. His rise to prominence began on the battlefields, where his tactical genius and unwavering courage brought him victory after victory. Caesar's campaigns in Gaul, a land of fierce warriors and challenging terrain, became the stuff of legend. He expanded Rome's dominion, securing vast new territories and amassing incredible wealth and power. But Caesar was not merely a conqueror, he was a shrewd politician who understood the intricacies of Roman society. He cultivated the loyalty of his soldiers, showering them with rewards and recognition. He presented himself as a champion of the people, a man of the people, contrasting himself with the perceived corruption and decadence of the Roman elite. This carefully crafted image, combined with his military triumphs, made him immensely popular with the common citizens of Rome. Caesar's growing power, however, was viewed with suspicion and fear by many within the Roman Senate. They saw in him a threat to the traditional power structures of the Republic, a man whose ambition knew no bounds. The Senate, once the heart of Roman governance, became increasingly wary of Caesar's growing influence. As Caesar's star rose, so too did the tension within the Roman Republic. The stage was set for a clash of titans, a struggle for the very soul of Rome. And at the center of this maelstrom stood Julius Caesar, the man who would reshape the destiny of an empire. The Roman Republic, a system of governance that had endured for centuries, was facing a crisis of unprecedented proportions. At its heart lay a fundamental tension, the growing power of individuals like Caesar versus the collective authority of the Senate. The Senate, composed of Rome's most powerful families, saw itself as the guardian of Roman tradition and liberty. They viewed Caesar's growing influence, his disregard for traditional norms, and his consolidation of power as a direct threat to the Republic's very existence. Whispers of tyranny and dictatorship began to circulate within the hallowed halls of the Senate. The senators, many of whom had once been Caesar's allies, grew increasingly wary of his ambitions. Some, like the stoic and principled Cato the Younger, saw Caesar's actions as a betrayal of Roman values, a dangerous slide towards autocracy. Others, driven by personal ambition or rivalry, saw an opportunity to seize power for themselves. The political climate in Rome became increasingly volatile, a tinderbox of suspicion, fear, and resentment. As Caesar tightened his grip on power, the opposition to his rule grew bolder. Secret meetings were held, alliances forged and broken, and plots hatched in the shadows. A sense of foreboding settled over the city, a palpable tension that could be felt in the bustling marketplaces and quiet corners of the Forum. The very air seemed thick with anticipation, a sense that something momentous, something earth-shattering was about to occur. The Republic, once a beacon of stability and order, was teetering on the brink of chaos. And in the eye of this storm stood Julius Caesar, seemingly oblivious to the gathering storm clouds. The Ides of March, March 15th on the Roman calendar, dawned like any other day in the bustling metropolis of Rome. Merchants set up their stalls in the Forum. Chariots clattered over cobblestone streets, and the citizens of Rome went about their daily lives. Yet, unbeknownst to them, this day would forever be etched in the annals of history. For on this day, a group of senators, driven by a potent cocktail of fear, ambition, and a fervent belief that they were saving the Republic, plotted to assassinate Julius Caesar. They called themselves the Liberatores, the Liberators, and they believed that Caesar's death was the only way to restore Rome to its former glory. At the heart of this conspiracy were men who had once been Caesar's closest allies. Gaius Cassius Longinus, a skilled general driven by a burning resentment of Caesar's power, and Marcus Junius Brutus, a young nobleman torn between his loyalty to Caesar and his love for the Republic. Brutus, often portrayed as the most conflicted of the conspirators, was said to have agonized over the decision. He admired Caesar, even loved him as a father figure, but he believed that Caesar's ambition posed a grave threat to the very foundations of Roman liberty. The conspirators chose to strike at a meeting of the Senate, a place where Caesar, stripped of his legions and surrounded by his peers, would be at his most vulnerable. They carefully laid their plans, assigning roles and coordinating their movements with meticulous precision. The fate of Rome, they believed, rested on their shoulders. The conspiracy to assassinate Caesar was a complex and multifaceted affair, fueled by a diverse group of individuals with their own motivations and grievances. At the forefront stood Gaius Cassius Longinus, a man driven by a potent mix of ambition and resentment. Cassius, a skilled military commander in his own right, had long chafed under Caesar's authority. He saw Caesar's rise as a personal affront, a threat to his own ambitions. Cassius was a master manipulator, adept at playing on the fears and prejudices of others. He skillfully recruited co-conspirators, whispering tales of Caesar's tyranny and painting a picture of a Rome groaning under the heel of a dictator. Then there was Marcus Junius Brutus, a young nobleman of impeccable lineage and unwavering moral conviction. Brutus, unlike Cassius, bore no personal animosity towards Caesar. In fact, he had been a close friend and confidant, even receiving preferential treatment during the recent civil war. But Brutus was a man of principle, a true believer in the ideals of the Roman Republic. He had witnessed firsthand Caesar's growing power, his disregard for traditional norms, and his increasing tendency towards autocracy. This troubled Brutus deeply, for he saw in Caesar's actions a betrayal of the very principles that had made Rome great. Cassius recognized Brutus's internal conflict and skillfully exploited it, appealing to his sense of duty and patriotism. He reminded Brutus of his ancestor, Lucius Junius Brutus, who had played a pivotal role in overthrowing the Roman monarchy centuries earlier. Brutus, torn between his loyalty to Caesar and his love for the Republic, ultimately decided that the greater good outweighed personal allegiance. The stage was set, the players in place. The Ides of March had arrived, and with it a sense of dreadful anticipation hung heavy in the air. Caesar, oblivious to the plot against his life, made his way to the theatre of Pompey, where the Senate was to convene. He was accompanied by a small retinue of guards and advisers, their faces etched with concern, as rumors of unrest and conspiracy swirled through the city. As Caesar entered the Senate chamber, a hush fell over the assembled senators. They watched with a mixture of apprehension and morbid fascination as Caesar, their former colleague, their general, their dictator, took his seat. The atmosphere was thick with tension, a silent storm brewing within the marble walls of the Senate. Cassius, his nerves steeled by months of planning and fueled by a burning desire for revenge, made his move. He approached Caesar, feigning a plea for clemency on behalf of a banished senator. Caesar, ever the master of theatrics, waved him away dismissively. This was the signal the conspirators had been waiting for. Casca, a man known for his impulsiveness, lunged forward, his dagger flashing in the sunlight streaming through the chamber's high windows. He struck Caesar in the neck, a glancing blow that drew blood but did not incapacitate the dictator. Caesar, momentarily stunned, cried out in surprise and pain. The Senate erupted in chaos, senators scrambling for safety as the conspirators, their daggers drawn, surrounded their target. Caesar, a giant of a man, fought back with surprising ferocity, his toga becoming stained crimson with his own blood, but he was outnumbered, outmaneuvered, and overwhelmed by the sheer ferocity of the attack. One by one, the daggers found their mark, piercing flesh and severing arteries. The assassination of Julius Caesar sent shockwaves through the Roman world and beyond. It marked the end of an era, the death throes of the Roman Republic, and the beginning of a period of profound change and upheaval. The conspirators, believing they had saved the Republic from tyranny, instead unleashed a new wave of violence and instability. The Roman people, far from celebrating Caesar's demise, were outraged by the murder of their leader. Mark Antony, Caesar's loyal lieutenant, skillfully manipulated public opinion, turning Caesar into a martyr and the conspirators into villains. Civil war erupted once more, tearing the Republic apart from within. In the end, it was Caesar's adopted son, Octavian, who emerged victorious, ushering in a new era of Roman history, the Roman Empire. The assassination of Julius Caesar serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of power, the law of unintended consequences, and the enduring legacy of one of history's most pivotal events.